Hi, I'm Corey Reed, and on behalf of all of us at John Deere, we wish you a Merry Christmas and good tidings for the new year. For me, this time of year brings a sense of peace and an opportunity to count our blessings. Family, friends, our health, the land, and all the good that farmers and ranchers do all year long. As we gather around the dinner table this season, we celebrate the spirit of togetherness and support that defines the agriculture community. For 187 years, John Deere has worked to support farmers and ranchers by providing the essential equipment and technology solutions needed to produce the clothes on our backs, the food on our tables, and the fuel used in our vehicles. And we look forward to continuing to support all of those who work on the land in the year to come and beyond. On behalf of John Deere employees across the United States, Merry Christmas and have a very happy New Year.
Hello and Merry Christmas. I'm Tyne Morgan.
And I'm Clinton Griffiths. I'm at the beautiful Fernwood Botanical Garden and Nature Preserve, which is all decked out for the holidays here in Niles, Michigan. Well, this morning, Tyne, we're celebrating the people and businesses in rural America, helping to make the holidays just a little brighter.
And we kick things off with one man who has given the gift of life.
That's right, Tyne. We talked with a Wisconsin dairy farmer who embodies a spirit of selflessness and resilience. Take a tour with Wisconsin dairyman Brian Forrest and you'll hear his passion for the work.
I love continuous improvement. I just love it. I mean, let's make that cow more comfortable, more comfortable, more comfortable.
Milking roughly 2,000 cows and farming almost 4,000 acres near Stratford, this has always been a family operation.
My dad bought the farm in 1966. My dad's sister lived in Rockford and they would come up for the summers.
That summer crew included Aunt Mary's 5 boys from Illinois.
The Gillette boys.
I had 4 brothers. I'm the youngest. We're all a year apart.
Cousin Richard Gillette was one of those summer hands.
When we were up there, they were milking maybe 55 cows.
I was like 5, 6 years old. I really don't remember a lot of it. I would just hear about it.
Time and those memories pass on, but family ties hold fast. In the 90s, 2 of the invincible Gillette boys died of cancer.
I just kind of started pacifying myself with alcohol, and you know, my doctors told me you gotta, you know, your liver will heal. I just didn't listen.
Even though he stopped the drinking, his medical issues had already started. A call from Gary Gillette in 2019 caught Brian off guard.
Just talking about how the potential for a donor. I don't, like a lot of people, you just, if you're not in that world, you're not thinking about it.
Being a liver donor had never crossed his mind. He Googled it the next day and then scheduled a screening with the University of Wisconsin Medical Hospital in Madison.
But I got a call like on a Thursday, said we have a donor, can you be here Sunday? So I get there Sunday, Monday morning, I'm all prepped for surgery. Do you want to meet your donor? And they wheel me in, and it's Brian.
But you didn't know?
No, I didn't know it was going to be Brian.
There's the physical side of giving life, but there's this whole other part of it that brings the families together. It's one of the most amazing things that people can do.
Roughly 65% of Brian's liver went to Richard, and in 8 weeks, both men were whole.
I mean, I wouldn't be here, so I send him. On his birthday and on our anniversary, I always send him a text, say thanks for saving my life.
Brian's time on the donor floor at the hospital opened his eyes to the impact that's possible. And last year, around Christmas, he donated a kidney to a complete stranger in Virginia.
He showed me my kidney in that person in Virginia, pinked up and doing its job.
There's Lucas, and Brooks is up here.
So while some families cherish the things they receive at Christmas, Brian is happy knowing he's been able to give the ultimate gift.
You saved my life. And, you know, I can never repay you. And I love you.
Now, Brian says he hopes others who hear his story will also consider organ donation.
What a generous spirit he has. And we're just getting started talking about the amazing people and places in rural America and that spirit of giving. Coming up, I'll introduce you to one of Santa's helpers who is spreading a lot of holiday cheer to children in his community and surrounding states.
Christmas in the Country is brought to you by John Deere. Your land, your brand. Technology, equipment, and support to help you farm better now and generations from now.
Well, thousands of children wake up to find toys in their homes Christmas morning. And while we adults know that Santa is a big reason for that, he has a big helper in the form of a 19-year-old 4-H teen from Oklahoma. It's all thanks to a toy drive he started when he was just 11 years old. The season of giving for Reed Markham
I came up with the idea back in 2016.
doesn't just happen during Christmas. For this now 19-year-old, the season of giving is year-round.
That first year there was no goal. It was just trying to gather as many toys as we could.
At just 11 years old, this young 4-H member had an idea to collect toys and give out to children in his local community.
He said, "Mom, I want to help, some kiddos in his class for Christmas." I said, "Okay, what can we do? We can do this and you can do a little work." And he was like, "No, I want to give out toys."
That first year, Reed's small idea turned into a huge success, giving out 5,000 toys. But little did this family know, that was just the start of something grand.
We collected a ton, but we were able to give out, I think, around 13,000 this year that day.
This toy drive has given away more than 64,000 toys, an annual event that people wait in line for hours to receive, with lines that stretch 3 to 4 miles long.
So I was working the line this last weekend. We did see license plates from Texas and Arkansas. That's pretty normal. I would ask the people in the line, what was the experience like? And this year I heard the comment, it was literally perfect.
But for Reed, this wouldn't be possible without volunteers, all 100 of them.
They do all kinds of different things, help work the line, be dressed up in costumes to help entertain the kids, give out small items that go through the line so the kids aren't just sitting there bored.
Reed's Toy Drive has become a beloved experience, attracting thousands of people from miles away. But this kid, who's brought so much joy to others, has also seen heartache along the way.
He had the most difficult year of his life, his junior year. July the 28th, he lost his grandmother that he was extremely close to.
Not even 4 months later, Reed suffered another devastating loss, just weeks away from his toy drive in 2021.
We were notified by soldiers that Reed's brother had passed in the military. I talked with Reed. "Reed, I don't think we can do the toy giveaway, hun." He said, "Mom, brother will want us to do the toy giveaway, so we're going to do the toy giveaway."
And he did, with an entire community rallying around Reed as a way to give back to one of their own who had done so much.
They just helped us all the way through it. After that, Reed had already created the Hudson Strong Foundation through a little boy that lost cancer. So they did help with the storage buildings. Then after his brother passed, Reed has created Sergeant Miles Tarrant Foundation. So now the Sergeant Miles Tarrant Foundation and the Hudson Strong Foundation support those storage buildings.
9 storage buildings in total, all bursting with donated toys each year. And it's that one idea in 2016 that continues to spread joy year-round, showcasing the true gift of giving.
I'll be giving away 10 of these baskets to someone in need.
I always share this. That came from the idea of an 11-year-old child. That shows the impact of the 4-H program. That shows the impact of a student that wants to give, that wants to make a difference, that wants to make a positive impact on their community.
An inspiration for all. Well, what would the holidays be without the sound of bells? We head to a town in Connecticut and a company that gives Christmas and many other things their own unique ring. That's next.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Pioneer.
Ben's bins, please hold.
Yeah, Ben's has been busy all day.
Seems like no one can keep up with this new Z series. What did you all put in these seeds?
Science.
There's nothing like sitting by a warm fireplace all bundled up watching a Christmas movie. And while those Hallmark movies are a favorite for many, for me, it's movies like It's a Wonderful Life with memorable lines such as, "Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings." Now, did you know the bell that was used in that movie is still being made today. Andrew McCrae shows us how an American company is continuing to help ring in the holidays.
So this is where it all begins.
Cece Bevan enjoys to work here in her family-owned business, a business that dates to 1832 when her ancestors began what is Bev and Bells today. This town was the place where bells in this country were made.
At one point in East Hampton, we had over 20 bell manufacturers making bells, and luckily today we are the last ones remaining.
Of course, the use of bells back when the company began is much different than today.
There was a tremendous amount of safety use for bells, so sleigh bells were absolutely massive for us. We would have catalogs 20 pages long of different styles and configurations of sleigh bells.
Today, a cowbell might be a gift or a musical instrument. Back then, it was an essential part of raising livestock. You've probably never given much thought to the fact that this company's bells are all around you.
We make all of the bells for the Salvation Army across the country. So anytime you see someone out at a kettle ringing a bell asking for money, that is a Bev and Bell.
Remember the sound that used to end stock trading in New York? Or signal another round at a Muhammad Ali boxing match? They're Bev and Bells. Bevan has adapted to the changing use of bells and international competition as well. Today, many bells are given as gifts and are personalized for companies. And of course, there's the very famous bell from Saturday Night Live that helped business.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
You'll find those words on some of the bells leaving the docks here, but we've yet to discuss the most famous Bev and Bell, a bell tied to a Christmas classic.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
The bell that rings on the tree at the end when Clarence gets his wings is a Bev and Bell, and exactly how that ended up in the movie, we're not entirely sure.
But they are sure glad the movie from the mid-1940s did ring a bell from their factory.
Absolutely the bell that's the most famous one, and it makes our Christmas season really great here at the factory.
The Wonderful Life bells are just one of the many holiday bells made here. In fact, the company will do about 60% of their business in the fourth quarter. While many people like the jingle of bells around the holidays, one has to wonder if working in a bell factory couldn't get a bit annoying.
I absolutely love hearing the bells ring, and as honestly, I can be very honest to say I never get tired of it. I have bells in my car all the time because I might be making a delivery or whatever. I am jingling everywhere I go, and it just brings a real smile to my face.
While bells are made here year-round, it is this holiday season that's truly special. Everything from sleigh bells to the bell from It's a Wonderful Life. Much Christmas cheer begins here. Traveling the countryside in East Hampton, Connecticut, I'm Andrew McCrae.
All right, thanks, Andrew. You know, another great tradition at Christmas, all the tasty treats. We'll take you to an Iowa store that's been putting sweet smiles on people's faces for well over 100 years.
Another Christmas tradition we have loved since we were kids, candy. And the Palmer Candy Company in Sioux City, Iowa makes several favorites for Christmas and all year round. As Michelle Rook reports, it's something the family-owned business has been doing for well over 100 years.
The Palmer Candy Company is best known for their iconic twin bean candy bar, but they're also a regional favorite at Christmas. They sell bulk candy, gift baskets, and they source local ingredients. The Palmer Candy Company is one of the country's oldest candy companies, starting back in the late 1800s.
So it actually started in 1878 as a fruit company, and then they kind of got into the candy side of it more so in the 1900s.
It's also the oldest company of its size to be under continuous family ownership for 143 years.
The company is on the 5th generation owner, and you can definitely still feel that family-owned business.
Palmer is best known for its signature twin bean candy bar, which features a cherry nougat covered in chocolate and peanuts, invented by Edward Palmer in 1923.
Last year it turned 100 years old.
And at Christmas, Conyers says they produce a special bean.
So the twin bean has the 2 humps, but the cane has 3. Yeah, it just comes in this nice Christmas wrapper. And then we do sell them by the carton as well. Otherwise, you can just get the individual one.
The Palmer's Old Time Candy Shop draws customers from all over the region and country, and it's a delicious step back in time during the holidays or any time of the year.
Yes, that's kind of what we're known for, and we like to keep it old school. We do all the scooping for you when you're in the store, and you can do 1 pound, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever your heart desires.
They make homemade clusters, cookies, various flavors of covered pretzels.
We do peanut brittle, we have a hot cocoa bark, a sea salt caramel bark, we have a lemon bark. There's a lot of endless possibilities.
All of which serve as the foundation for holiday gift boxes and trays.
We have different size gift baskets kind of for any price point. Like for instance, we have a tray called the Customer Favorites. That's a 3-part tub, and it has peanut brittle, a frosted holiday pretzel, and peanut clusters. And we also have these really beautiful, we call them shippable gift boxes, and it just has a variety of our products in there.
Conyers says they pride themselves on using local ingredients and promote locally produced foods.
We try to keep everything as local as we can. We have it for the candy side, and then also we have a specialty food section in the back that also has, we try to showcase a lot of the local products from the area.
So Palmer's Old Time Candy Shop is sure to have the perfect Christmas gift for that special someone that seems to have everything. In Sioux City, I'm Michelle Rook reporting.
How sweet is that? Thanks, Michelle. Well, still ahead, spreading some Christmas cheer to the men and women of our military. We'll take you to an event that's become a holiday tradition in Southwest Michigan. That's next.
Christmas in the Country is brought to you by John Deere. Your land, your brand. Technology, equipment, and support to help you farm better now and generations from now.
Several military families are celebrating the holidays with a fresh Christmas tree, and it's all thanks to a program called Trees for Troops. And for one Michigan community, packing up the trees has become a tradition every year. Photographer Russ Natusco caught up with the 120-plus volunteers as they help spread some holiday cheer.
We're just tagging them, so we're also making sure that we got every single one of them.
We're loading the Trees for Troops trees today. It's an event that gets started by the National Christmas Tree Association and the Christmas Spirit Foundation. It's actually the 20th year. It's a way to give back to our armed services. There's several thousand trees given away each year.
The 2 FedEx trailers are going to Columbia Air Force Base in Mississippi and to Fort Knox. Those are the 2 military bases these trees are going to.
A lot of veterans. We'll have veterans here. We'll have some soldiers that'll show up today. They'll be sent out here to help us, and a lot of other service people and just people that want to be participating.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of the men and women that are going to receive them. It really warms my heart to know that there's going to be people across the nation that are celebrating Christmas around a Michigan-grown Christmas tree, right?
Yeah.
But each person gets to carry a few trees, get to rub elbows, and just feel like they're supporting the troops somehow.
The thing that I get out of this is the satisfaction that I'm actually helping somebody. I want them to know is that someone cares for them outside of their family, another veteran cares for them, and that's what I want to do.
It means a lot to a family. You know, we've passed out a couple of those trees when I was deployed and, at our duty station, and when you see a family get a tree, you just see their whole face light up.
There was a huge group today. It was wonderful. Cole's Elementary School, the kindergartners take those tags, they spread it, maybe not just kindergartners, but the elementary, and they color and they write things on the cards for the troops, and those tags get fastened to every single tree.
To read what a little kid is saying to a stranger, it makes you feel just warm inside. I mean, it puts a smile on your face. That's what it does.
I love Christmas with my family. It's a magic time of year. There's a lot of just good feelings with it, and to know that military families who are going through a lot, they have a chance to get together around a Christmas tree and celebrate Christmas is just really cool to know that we get to be a little part of that and to thank them for what they're doing for us all the time. So we love doing this.
Christmas is the most joyful time of year. It's also the most challenging to be apart from your family.
I always say I wish it was Christmas every day of the year because, people always want to help people at Christmas time, right? But what I'll tell you is it just shows the enormous support that each community cares for its armed forces and the people that serve and protect their freedom.
We love our troops and we love our country. So God bless America, God bless you all. Thank you all for being there, and Merry Christmas.
All right, thanks, Russ. A great way to remember our servicemen and women at the holidays.
Well, our Christmas in the country is just getting started. From making dreams come true with toy tractors to taking a trip down memory lane, we have so much more magic to share right after the break.
Christmas in the Country is brought to you by John Deere. Your land, your brand. Technology, equipment, and support to help you farm better now and generations from now.
Hot Wheels, Legos, those are some of the most popular toys of all time. But for kids on the farm, it's safe to say toy tractors are a fan favorite. Michelle Rook takes us to a toy store in Iowa who's helping dreams come true.
It may be one of the largest farm toy stores in the entire country, right here in Lamar's, Iowa. Between the store in downtown Lamar's and several warehouses, Albert Schultz says he has over 20,000 pieces of farm machinery, making it one, if not the largest diversified offering of farm toys in the U.S.
Now, there are people that do sell more a one-of-a-kind item, a box toy, or maybe a semi-truck or something like that. It's a specialty. When you say diversification, we are by far the largest.
But what attracts customers from across the country is the unique restoration and custom fabrication they offer.
We do about 600 customs a year, well, now 354 general restoration pieces a year.
He says they start with an existing cast model.
And from there we start putting fancy rubber on it, painting different, chrome piping it, levers on it, whatever we need to do.
Schultz has 13 fabricators that work to make signature pieces for collectors that end up being family treasures.
People want something more like they have themselves. So when you get into the customs, it's a specialty deal. What they're doing, they're building heirlooms for the family. Or they bring back their collection when they were kids. From 50, 60 years ago, can you restore that old John Deere 60 or picker for us? Yes, we can. And that's a cherished piece for them too, so that goes in their own personal collection.
The Lamar's Toy Store also gives back by donating custom items to charity auctions for kids with cancer.
A year ago, we built a tractor. It was a 4020, 1/8, about $35,000 on the auction. Most of our toys bring 10 to 15, 20,000 on their auction. And 100% goes to curing for cancer.
So they're making lasting memories for past and future generations.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, Lamar, Iowa isn't just home to a popular toy tractor company. It's also home to one impressive light display. You have to see it to believe it. Andrew McCrae takes us there next. Well, it's a tradition about 3 decades old now, and it all began with one family who put up Christmas lights around their home and their barns. Andrew McCrae takes us back to Lamar to see the Christmas magic this weekend.
Rob Scheitler lives outside of Lamar's, Iowa. What is a holiday attraction today has its roots from his days as a kid here on the farm.
I started hanging Christmas lights when I was a kid on our family farm just down the road, and it grew from there. And pretty soon my dad got into it, and we had lights on all the farm buildings, the fence lines, tractors, wagons.
In 1995, he moved into a new home on the farm and brought those Christmas lights with him. It marked the beginning of what is today called Christmas Acres. Rob was just putting up lots of lights around his house, on the trees and buildings for fun. But as years passed, he acquired more lights. The display grew, and so did the number of people driving down the gravel road to see it.
We estimate this year we have 300,000 lights or more. I'm covering all the trees, the bushes, the fences.
He used to begin putting up lights each season on Labor Day weekend. Today there is so much to do. He began this year on August 11th. They always open the weekend before Thanksgiving. Rob lives in the country, but that doesn't mean people have a hard time finding his place. There's often a solid line of cars down the gravel road for several hours on the weekends. For several years, people would simply drive by Rob's place to see the lights. But he always wanted people to experience the display up close.
Probably 8 years ago, the idea of putting in walking paths came to be.
so people park on the opposite side of the gravel road and literally walk paths through Rob's yard. And if Rob is not outside greeting guests, he's most likely inside with his wife, working on an idea he suggested to her a few years ago.
What if we turned our garage into a bake shop? And so for the last 3 years, every Friday and Saturday night, our garage turns into the Scheitler Bake Shop. So we call it the Scheitler Bakers from Christmas Acres.
There's never been a charge to come and see the display, but people kept asking if they could help Rob in some way.
We always had people come to our front door and want to give us money, and we refused. And it got to the point where people kept coming, and so my wife Joyce said, if they're going to come to the door and want to hand us money, then we're going to do this as a charity.
In 10 years' time, they raised over $130,000 for the local Christian Needs Center in Lamar's. This Christmas, money is being raised for the Lamar's Community Fire Department and Wet Nose, a local pet rescue organization. There are literally thousands of people walking through Rob's front yard from around Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve. One has to wonder if there's ever a time when he perhaps wants a silent night, so to speak, to peacefully and quietly enjoy Christmas.
Oh, I think it's great. If that was my way, we'd do this year-round if I could.
This truly is a magical place in the middle of the farm fields of northwest Iowa. People come here to enjoy the Christmas lights and walk these paths each Christmas, and in turn, help raise money for local causes. Traveling the countryside in Lamar's, Iowa, I'm Andrew McCrae.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, when we come back, it wouldn't be Christmas without Santa's trusty reindeer. We're off to a reindeer farm next. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Run, Run, Rudolph. I can think of 10 Christmas songs off the top of my head that mention reindeer. But raising reindeer, well, that's a very important job that extends well beyond the North Pole. Cattle producers by trade, the Prescott family in southern Missouri now has 240 acres rooted in a deep desire to give everyone a full Christmas experience, as we show you this weekend. It's a song that captured kids' hearts when it first topped the charts in 1949.
But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer then became a television special hit 15 years later.
Well, Donner, where's the new member of the family? After all, if he's going to be on my team someday, he'd better get to know me.
But unlike the fictional characters in the movie and songs, reindeer here at Prescott Family Reindeer Farm,
we obviously have our real reindeer, Noel and Tinsel,
are actually real.
The biggest misconception probably about reindeer are that they're real. We have people that come out all the time and say, okay, but what are these? And we tell them, they are real reindeer.
Sarah Prescott will tell you the story behind this reindeer farm is magical.
Being on a family farm means a lot of different things to us. It means tradition. It means, building something together as a family.
This 240 acres in Van Zant, Missouri is rooted in a deep desire to give everyone a full Christmas experience.
They're very stout, hardy animals, so we wanted it not to just be a petting zoo, but we wanted you to be able to fall in love with our animals just the way that we do.
It all started 3 years ago when the Prescotts moved to southern Missouri from central Illinois.
While we were in central Illinois, we did a ton of educational opportunities for people to come out to the farm and like I said, share our story, visit with the animals. And when we moved here, we wanted to expand on that.
The Prescotts were well equipped for raising beef cattle, but they decided to venture into something new.
We didn't want to impose on other businesses here in our local area, so we really tried to find a different niche market. And honestly, reindeer were it. It was a perfect opportunity to bring them something completely different, but also showcase the animals here on the farm.
And that love was a gift during a visit to another farm in Illinois.
Our reindeer process actually started 5 years ago in Canton, Illinois, when we visited our first reindeer farm, and that was the Snowman's Reindeer Farm. And they are amazing people, and they actually helped us to fall in love with reindeer just on our visit there.
When the Prescotts moved to Missouri, Sarah started researching how to raise reindeer.
So we raise the reindeer very much like we raise the cattle. I would say the biggest difference between cows and reindeer are the cattle don't love it when it's 0 degrees, but the reindeer, that's their happiest time.
Even though reindeer love the cold and loathe the hot, cattle and reindeer are both ruminant animals, but reindeer just prefer to eat different treats.
Our reindeer actually are not on grass. Reindeer actually don't eat much grass. Their main diet out in nature would be a lot more leaves and sticks.
Sarah calls them her pampered pets, with big fans and pools to play in during the heat of the summer. But as you can imagine, it's in the winter months that these reindeer really shine.
We're super excited that Santa and Mrs. Claus join us each weekend from the North Pole. They come down, obviously, to visit with the reindeer. We hope that Noel and Tinsel will make the flight team this year and be able to be flying around for Christmas Eve.
With both Santa and Mrs. Claus on the farm, plus photo props and other fun experiences, the Prescotts work each winter to bring others an enchanting experience.
We also have crafts, a gift shop. You can write letters to Santa, hot cocoa, games, basically all the things that you need to check off your Christmas tradition list.
The fun doesn't stop at Christmas. You can follow their journey all year on their Facebook page.
Some of our animals, like the reindeer, they lose almost all their hair and become dark in the summer months, and they become light in the winter months, and we just want them to be able to see what they're like in all different seasons because they change all the time, and we love that our guests want to follow that throughout the year.
This experience isn't created overnight. The Prescotts and their 3 kids start decorating for Christmas in July, all in hopes of helping others make memories in the most magical way. What a memorable experience for everyone involved. Well, speaking of memories, road trips can make the best memories year-round. We take you to a road trip staple next. An American icon since 1937, Stuckys is known for delicious candy and warm hospitality on highways across the U.S. Clinton Griffiths travels to Rennes, Georgia, where that roadside icon is cooking up a comeback with the help of local farmers.
Dashing through the snow in a front-wheel drive sleigh.
Hey kids, look, a deer!
There's nothing more seasonal than a holiday road trip. And at one time, Stuckys was a likely stop.
At our peak, we had 368 stores in 40 states.
The roadside oasis is woven into the fabric of highway history.
Stuckys really is synonymous with the road trip during what I consider the era of the Great American Road Trip, which would have been the 1950s to the 1970s, when Americans wouldn't travel by plane. They would load up in the car, usually in a family station wagon, and they'd drive for 5 days.
It was founded during the Great Depression by pecan farmer W.S. Stuckey as a roadside pecan stand.
He always considered himself first and foremost a pecan farmer and a pecan broker.
Today, his granddaughter is leading a resurgence of that business, not as a highway stop, but as a pecan company with roots on Georgia farms.
I want us to be, this is our big, audacious goal, the go-to pecan snack brand in the world.
Helping her on the journey, a third-generation pecan farmer.
As a Georgia pecan grower, I may be a little bit biased, I don't know, but I mean, I genuinely believe we grow the best pecans in the world in the state of Georgia.
He credits ample rainfall and higher oil content with resulting in larger sized nuts, perfect for creating candied treats at Christmas. Today, on an in-shell basis, they handle about 2 million pounds of Georgia pecans a year in a state that grows 100 million pounds.
In the state of Georgia, which grows more pecans than any state in the country, over 10% of the crop is grown in people's yards.
Soon, they'll be using even more as the business continues to expand.
Why is it that when you go into the grocery store and you walk down the salty snack aisle and you get to the nuts, you can find every other nut sitting in that section, but you don't see pecans there very often.
A question this farmer and farmer's granddaughter are aiming to answer.
Of the original 368 stores, only 12 left. But I saw what wasn't on the balance sheets, and that's the value of the brand.
A brand dumping, churning, dipping, and packaging pecans, log rolls and clusters, just the way the founder, W.S. Stuckey, did when he started.
I would like to think if he were alive today, he would be really happy that we're making our comeback the way we began, as a pecan company.
Thanks, Clinton. Well, Frosty the Snowman wouldn't be Frosty without his corncob pipe. When we come back, an American-based company helping keep that tradition alive. Cob pipes became popular worldwide and were especially favored by educated, affluent smokers. But for many, the corncob pipe is best known because of Frosty the Snowman. The history of the corncob pipe is closely tied to the Missouri Meerschaum Company, the world's oldest and largest manufacturer of corncob pipes, who's still making those today.
A story that first came to life in 1969.
Frosty the Snowman, what a happy, jolly soul. With a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal.
And one that hasn't lost its luster, even when it comes to the iconic corncob pipes.
Missouri Meerschaum Company is a corncob pipe company and that has been in business continuously for 150 years.
Nestled along the Missouri River in quaint Washington, Missouri, this brick building has seen 150 years of change.
We were the first corncob pipe company, first company to commercially make corncob pipes, and for all intents and purposes, we're the last.
The last corncob pipe company in the U.S. staying strong to its roots.
All the pipes that we make are from corn cobs that we grow.
Phil Morgan says the secret sauce for the sesquicentennial pipe, the cob.
We have our own hybrid. We're the only ones that have it.
A rare type of corn baked into one heritage hybrid.
That our corn, the hybrid we have, is made up of 4 old open pollinated varieties of corn from way back, the early 1900s.
Creating the desirable cob's perfect pith for making corncob pipes.
But the next part of the cob is called the woody ring. And if you let that dry long enough, in our case about 2 years, that literally becomes as hard as wood, and that's why you can make a pipe out of it.
And from there, the magic begins.
We have about 30 different styles or varieties of corncob pipes that we make, all from little miniature pipes all the way up to the big MacArthur pipe.
An art that is all done by hand.
There's a lot of artistry and a lot of craftsmanship that goes into it that people don't realize.
The attention to detail and the artistry that stayed the same for 150 years.
You can see the craftsmanship and the variety that went into the pipes even back then.
Missouri Meerschaum Company still uses one machine 120 years old, keeping the nostalgia and the magic alive.
It's about as much of a American heritage product as you can find anywhere. And that's what I'm proud of, just that we're keeping it going.
It's that momentum Morgan thinks won't change.
The peak demand would have been in the 1930s to the 1950s in that time frame.
But thanks to older millennials, the hobby of smoking a pipe is making a comeback.
I think what's driving that is just the social aspect of it.
The iconic pipe made a memorable impression thanks to famous fictional stories.
When you think about a corncob pipe, you would have either thought of Popeye, possibly, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus in 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, smoking a pipe, and of course we believe that was a corncob pipe.
But the tradition of smoking a pipe wasn't always fiction.
The person that most people would identify with is Douglas MacArthur from World War II, the big, the really tall, big pipe that he took pictures with. We made his pipes for him right here.
The MacArthur pipe is still made today.
We've actually never stopped manufacturing this one, and he kind of designed it. He took an older pipe that called the Grandpa that we had made from the 1880s, and the bowl was too deep for him, so he had us move the shank up so the bowl wasn't quite as deep.
From Norman Rockwell to Thomas Hart Benton, the corncob pipe made in Missouri was a popular choice and one that still stirs up sentiments from the past.
It's the perfect gift for somebody who wants to relax and contemplate life.
And it's the iconic corncob pipe story and the revival of nostalgia, keeping the tradition alive today.
But he waved goodbye, saying, "Don't you cry."
I'll be back on Christmas Day.
Well, to all of you, we hope you've had a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching, and tune in next weekend as we work to build on our tradition. Have a great weekend, everyone.
U.S. Farm Report is produced and distributed by Farm Journal Broadcast.